Welcome everyone to another episode of the Panel Pals Watch Spider-Man the Animated Series. I'm your co-host Emin Stash.
And I'm the other co-host, Skull Ryan.
And today we got a pretty good episode. We got the Sting of the Scorpion. My.
Why do they call him the Scorpion?
Well, they should just call him Freak, considering the way they treated Mac Gargan throughout the entire episode.
Fish face.
Worthless.
Kill yourself. Face of an eel.
You know.
Brain of an eel. Yeah. Literally, they do basically tell Gargan, kill yourself. It's quite grim.
In the first fucking 2 seconds of his introduction, it's like...
I felt really bad for Gargan in this. So, Scorpion in general, what do you reckon of him?
I think in the comics, I love Scorpion a lot. He's one of my favorites. But here, I thought, he was just a bit worse in comparison. There was something about it that just wasn't hitting it for me.
Ooh.
What would you say about Scorpion within this episode?
Within the episode, he probably had the most threatening plan. Like,
he did get close.
He was gonna nuke New York. Episode-wise, they made him a bit of a mug at the start, and then he was suddenly this mega threat, which was the point. But
I did write.
I think he's very underutilized. Like, he's the original Venom, really, isn't he? He's back in the day, he was the threat to take on. He was designed to destroy Spider-Man, and he's just as strong and powerful as him. But he's treated like a bit of a mug.
Like lizard syndrome.
Yeah,
where the writers just don't know what to do anymore.
He should have been one of them where Spider-Man's scared to fight him. Because while he's dumb,
he's pretty fucking powerful.
And I don't think they've ever utilised him right, in the sense that, as we see in this, he was at first a detective. Jameson hired him as a detective to find out why Peter's so good at getting spider shots.
He hired him, but he just insults him constantly.
Could he not have found is there not a better private detective in New York?
It's like, why would you bother paying this man? You clearly don't like him.
The comic Scorpion's never proper, they've never went into that properly. Like, instead of having him stalk and hunt people, he's always just been, the bodyguard, or I think they call it the dragon.
PS4 game?
Yeah.
But in the PS4
game squandered him.
There's no, hint towards his sort of past life.
Yeah, he's in some weird robot suit, and it's...
It's cool when he has that sort of... In the game, he felt sort of menacing, if you know what I mean, but...
He stole the stereo spot to me in the game. He poisons you, and then you start hallucinating big scorpions and acid and all this shit, and it's why didn't you just have the stereo?
Were they thinking it'd be too similar to Scarecrow in the Arkham games?
Maybe, but Arkham Scarecrow kicked ass, so you copied everything else about the Arkham games. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically as well just the Ra's al Ghul trials as well.
It was, in
Spider-Man
Can't touch the floor. And it's just
there's a ghost that you have to follow.
Yeah, it was. It was the demon trials.
It's the demon trials.
And they made him some weird...
if he was worthy to fuck Doc Ock.
You will fuck Doc Ock, Spider-Man. Or the city die. They made him some weird, poisoning mercenary. It was like a mercenary with a poisoning fetish in PS4. I remember his bio says that he was a mercenary. It's like, why is Jonah hired a clearly unstable man? At least in the comics, and in this, he's like, well, he's a private detective. He must have something about him.
And then in Spider-Man 2, the game, he baited Miles Morales in that one scene.
Oh, yeah.
Where he frees him.
And he's the only villain we see die.
Yeah,
that was pretty
Shocker
funny.
Put up most of the fight because, remember, Shocker is the best foe of Spider-Man.
Got him, mate. Right after Chameleon.
Yeah. The Tinker, a close third place.
Ooh. That bit you reminded me there, that was quite funny in Spider-Man 2, where he was like, Scorpion got out, you gotta get me out of here. It was him.
That just shows how cunning one like the Scorpion truly is.
It shows they could have done something cool with him, and they chose not to.
Well, it's honestly, I feel like Spider-Man 2, the game, would have benefited if there was no Miles Morales.
Yeah, he didn't have nothing, did he?
But it just felt like there was too much to balance. It's meant to be a sequel for, Spider-Man, not fucking team up. It's a Spider-Man. It's
yeah,
not,
they should have called it Spider-Man, shouldn't they? If they wanted equal treatment of them both. Oh yeah, the game was dog shit anyway.
Yeah, it's like I would have just rathered if it was just Peter. That's basically what the first game was like, and it's infinitely better.
Yeah, mate. But to be fair, Mr. Negatives in the first game. Oh, he's in total. Never mind.
He's probably one of the better creations from Dan Slott, but he's not.
The first game come out at the perfect time because we'd been hammered by so much shit Spider-Man stuff. Like, we were suffering through the MCU. The comics had been absolute dog shit for ages. And all of a sudden, there's this fresh take coming out, and it was actually good. But even now, that's gone down the fucking
2018 was
drain.
a decent year, though, wasn't it? Because you had the game, and then you had the Nick Spencer run start.
Started, yeah. But even then, we were like, well, we got rid of Sloth, but we were still like, oh, don't know. Because the comics for 10 years had been just awful.
But it would have been like, oh, things are maybe on the up and up.
Yeah, we were hopeful, but it was still a bit like, ooh.
I love how you go from that period of Nick Spencer, Spider-Man PS4, to then Zeb Wells, Spider-Man 2. It's like, wow.
We had about 2 years of actually good Spider-Man stuff again, and now we're right back in the shit. And now apparently he's fighting with Doctor Doom in the upcoming, even when we get rid of Zeb next week or whatever.
He's like Herald almost?
Yeah, because he's got to fight Satorak, the fellow who powers Juggernaut. He's like the villain.
What the fuck is going on, mate?
The what you call them? The synopsises for the upcoming issues all spoil that. Yeah, Spider-Man's got 8 lives, but all of them start with like, Spider-Man's got 7 lives left. Spider-Man's only got 6 lives left. So it's like, okay, he does die every issue then.
So he's just going to keep dying and dying and dying.
Yeah, every issue's going to end with him dying. So Spider-Man died to me long ago anyway. So I'm immune.
What a hate boner they've got to just fucking shit on Spider-Man 24/7. My God.
I know, mate. I wouldn't even be asked if they kept him dead at the end now, because they've just ruined everything about
just
it.
End it, mate. Just
put us out of our misery, please.
They've probably seen the sales and going, well, shit. Just fucking kill him.
Just kill him, yeah. Stan Lee's dead. We don't
why
have to
didn't Mac Gargan kill himself?
You know, he did win the fight, if I'm honest. He knocked Spidey into a water tower.
He got very
Spidey's
lucky to
down.
lose.
Yeah. Like, if Mac had waited 5 more minutes before going crazy, Peter would have been unmasked in front of Jonah Jameson and probably killed.
Did you notice in the show, Mac was the only person without a fucking 6-pack, and they transformed him?
Even we found out later, Felicia Hardy's got a 6-pack.
Everyone but Mac. I bet Nick Katzenberg probably has a 2-pack.
And me.
Peter, I gotta get to my aerobics class.
They're giving Aunt May CPR and as they're doing the chest confessions. It's just abs.
Peter's watching her in the gym. Like, I knew that bitch always faked the heart attacks.
Oh,
livid.
Quick, what happens in this episode? Let me get it back up. Where's it gone?
Oh, yeah, the synopsis, yeah.
Okay, so Jonah Jameson is becoming obsessed. Where's it gone? What's my cheat sheet gone? Oh, God.
You're a fraud, panel pal.
Jonah Jameson is getting a bit too obsessed with Spider-Man's antics to the point where he hires private investigator McDonald Mac Gargan to hunt him down. And to do this, he pays some money and gets schlubby Mac Gargan turned into the shredded Scorpion.
Fat slob Mac Gargan.
Yeah, useless piece of shit should kill himself Mac Gargan becomes the deadly Scorpion.
Turns into this beautiful, chiseled, legendary man known as the Scorpion, who shouldn't kill himself.
But Scorpion goes a bit loopy because now he's a human scorpion and tries to kill everyone.
What did you think of the sort of complications? Jameson and his flashback.
Oh, so mate, I thought, was this? So we know a gang boss killed Jonah's wife. Could it have been Micah Sin?
She declined his advances to cheat on Jonah.
No one says no to me.
Is this the first canonical appearance of Micah Sin? I do, I mentioned to you this before, but I was like,
yeah,
with Jameson saying, because I rebelled against this mob boss, he killed my wife. So the best way to, I promised to never again. So what do I do now? I'm going to rebel against Spider-Man to not do what he says. It's like, you're a dumbass.
The mob boss tells Jonah, leave me alone. Jonah doesn't, and he gets his wife killed. And now, years later, Spider-Man tells Jonah, leave him alone. And Jonah doesn't, and nearly gets the city killed. He's not learned his lesson from the death of his wife.
And then he's like to Spider-Man, Spider-Man may be a threat to society, but you're a bigger one. And it's like, well, I think you're the one that created it. Where does that put you?
What's Spider-Man actually done to piss off Jonah except wearing a mask? He saved him from the Spider Slayers twice. Saved him from Alistair Smythe. Saved him from Dr. Octopus.
He's going to save his son within the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Twice. Isn't it twice he saves him?
In the rhino suit. Right, yeah, because the Shocker kidnaps him as well.
Yeah,
and he's there in his wheelchair, in his hospital gown in the chair.
But make sure he's not in the Joker movie, mate. Man in correction officer uniform. So there really was a guy in a correction officer uniform. Oh, mate. I did think Jameson was annoying at times, but there was some times where he was funny as well. Like, I liked when he was watching Scorpion try to kill Spidey, and he's like, yeah, attaboy, attaboy. He's like cheering on Scorpion.
Yeah, cheering him on.
Because there was other times where his obsession was just so fucking annoying.
Yeah,
I don't like when it goes over the top.
Fuming at him.
When it goes over the top, it goes past that sense of like, yeah, I could see this happening to mate, get a life.
Find that you randomly know already? Farley Stillwell. Like,
does this mean they will soon get the Fly?
Oh, well, Stillwell survived this one, and he does return in like season 4 briefly. But we never get.
This episode had an actual death. Like a proper, like his
wife. Well, I also noticed while we're on the topic, they say kill and dead in the episode. Gargan gets asked if he wants to get Spider-Man by Jameson, and he goes, "I'd kill for the chance." And then later on, Scorpion says to Spidey, "You're dead meat."
Instead of saying my wife is dead, my wife went on a vacation, never came back.
My wife was destroyed.
My wife met Micah Sin, the pain.
That's why I'm the publisher.
You think, like, if his wife said no to Sin, and then it's like the person, instead of Shocker kidnapping his son later on, it's Micah Sin trying to get revenge. So then when he's in the hospital, he's like, man in underwear.
So there was a man in underwear.
Man with bad diet.
This episode broke a couple of them rules that they've tried to establish previously. No pigeons got hurt. Spider-Man did throw 3 punches. Did you catch that bit?
I didn't catch the punches. I only saw the web kicks.
Oh, he fights Scorpion's tail and he punches it 3 times and then he shakes his hand and goes, what are you made of? Adamantium. But he punched him. I watched him do it.
Is it like maybe his tail's actually made of paper? It's just whenever he punches in the show, it's like
he's never thrown a punch before. It's so weak.
Speaking of punching, mate, I was trying to get that in the 2000s game, where you write the curse word and he punches it.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if I can find a green screen of that, but I couldn't. For like every time I swear in a video, I'd have him come up on the screen to punch this.
Oh, it's a genius idea.
I don't know how to find a green screen. I'm not smart enough to make one either.
Yeah, I can't make them.
Because it's moving? I can do that.
It'd have to be like 40 different frames, wouldn't it? Of them slightly higher up every time.
And then punch. Could you imagine how much of a pain in the ass it would be to him to punch something?
Oh, Christ. Is there no, I've got a green screen of the loading screen from Enter Electro where he's running. I've seen that. Yeah.
I'll do some investigative research.
Yeah,
I need to call a certain McDonald Gargan.
Gargan, you're worthless. You couldn't make that green screen. Don't call me worthless, Mr. Stash. Everyone always calling me worthless.
I hated the fact that his voice stayed the same when he turned into Scorpion.
He still sounds like a little nasally bitch.
Yeah. It's like a hench giant man. He's like, hey, Spider-Man, I got you one. It's like the 60s show all over again.
Yeah. I'm
did you notice?
And faster than you.
Micah Sin's diet is disgusting. Did you fucking notice that the webbing looked really gross in this episode?
Did it? Well, like wet?
It was like an off-white color. And it looked like paste more than anything. Like, it looked really liquidy.
Ooh.
I just stood out to me. I was watching. Maybe it's because I watched The Substance yesterday. I was in this sort of weird state of where I find everything disgusting.
Oh,
but I was looking at that shit like, ew. Like, that poor Gargan, mate. He got assaulted badly when he webbed into the wall.
What do you reckon of him spraying acid?
I think that's I think it's a cool sort of gimmick for the Scorpion.
I think it's a cool idea in the way Spider-Man has web shooters, so he's got acid shooters. Do real Scorpions shoot poison out the tail? Because I thought they just stung you.
I guess it's I mean, I don't imagine that. Oh, if Scorpions could shoot poison, that'd be overpowered.
You'd be fucked.
Imagine that little shit chasing you in the Sahara Desert.
Yeah. Some members of the Scorpion genus can spray their venom.
Fuck me.
And you live in fucking Australia.
Oh god. Mate. If there's a spider and it's got that it's got that red backing, I'm gonna pretend it's not a redback spider. I'm gonna pretend it's a radioactive one.
Yeah, I get it. Like what Radioactive Man thought in the issue 4. Radioactive.
Choke. An A-bomb. I survived. From this day on, I shall call myself Radioactive Man.
Come out better than the Hulk did, didn't he?
The Hulk probably read that comic. Hulk mad. Off topic, but have you ever seen, I think it was an SNL skit of Superman's funeral?
I think so.
And they get even Marvel characters are there, and the fucking Hulk is there. And he's like, Hulk, bad with words, wrote something down, and he puts on his fucking glasses. He's like, Superman was an inspiration to us all. And he starts reading Bruce Banner.
Oh, that's bad.
But even the Teen Titans were there. Black Lightning gets denied at the party. Like Jimmy Olsen doesn't let him through. He's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Well, I'm Jimmy Olsen. I'm Superman's pal."
We were all Superman's pal.
Mate, if in Superman next year, if he doesn't call Jimmy Olsen his fucking pal, I riot.
By James, some punk with a gun.
Some punk. I think Batman and Spider-Man are just haunted by his name.
He fucking hates him.
I was watching Superman 78, and I can't remember what he said. He's like, "That'd be swell, Lois," and she fucking stops. She's like, "What the fuck did you just say?" You're like, "Well, I said it would be swell."
You know how Robert Pattinson's Batman's got the gun that killed his parents as his bat symbol?
I don't know if they got debunked or not.
What if it was James' gun?
Just him.
And his symbols, it's just the fucking, got his glasses.
Yeah, Alfred just like looks on horrified by what he's doing to him.
It wouldn't even be the fucking weirdest thing a Batman has done. Remember Keaton?
He whispers in his ear.
Explosive to a dude. Kicks him in the suit.
Smiles. Robert Pattinson goes up to Alfred and he goes, "I learned this one from Professor Pig." Does that sort of smirk he does to Gordon when he punches him?
The symbol in the sky is just James Gunn's face. Tonight Gotham is relying on one man to save us all. James Gunn in the fucking sky.
It's like that fucking Punisher meme you send me. Franks.
Yeah.
So like his batarangs just James Gunn's face on it.
Even his logo at the face.
Yeah.
With Boston's skull.
He's got fucking Harold in the workshop, fucking slaving away. What was the dialogue? I forgot the dialogue.
It's like, what's this, Frank?
My kind of James Gunn. That's what I like about you, James Gunn. You could always appreciate my James Gunn.
James Gunn. Did you catch the episode 1 Easter eggs in this Scorpion showdown?
Well, that's funny because I did mention in this episode it feels like Peter doesn't even know who MJ really is, like hasn't met her.
Yeah, on the phone, yeah.
This episode aired as the 6th episode, but it was actually the 2nd one of the series.
I spotted that when I googled it. Yeah, it says episode 2. I was like, what? So this is meant to be the Spider Slayers.
It makes sense though, because he's like trying to get with Liz. And he's still
he's flirting with Felicia and but
yeah, and Aunt May's like has to mention the fact that it's Aunt Watson's niece.
Yeah, he doesn't just say Mary Jane, even though we saw her in the Mysterio episode.
Unless she's just got fucking Alzheimer's.
We'll have to sit down and like discuss the actual chronological events, because if this is before even the Spider Slayer strikes, then what the hell? So you telling me Spidey fought 2 green dudes with tails in a row?
I mean, half of his villains are green, aren't they?
Yeah, it's true. This
Green
Scorpion's
Goblin, Mysterio,
just
Sandman, Scorpion, Lizard.
Scorpion's just like handicapped Dr. Octopus because he's only got 1 extra arm instead of 4.
Yeah. Well, at least he can shoot acid though. That's pretty fucking handy.
True. Well, Ultimate Doc Ock had like flamethrowers. He could control metal.
The controlling metal thing was wild, especially during the Clone Saga. I remember he fucking...
Yeah, and then he uses it once in his life and dies like 3 issues later.
I love how he's like content in prison in the Ultimate World, and then when he realizes they're making a movie based off him, that's when he gets pissed off.
Yeah, it's because his ex-wife got like residuals, or
yeah,
she was a consultant and got paid. So he's, I've got coming up in November, Dr. Octopus Across the Spider-Verse. And he's like, the main segment is how mental Ultimate Doc Ock was.
Didn't he try to they tried to kill Peter at the start, didn't they?
Yeah. He figures out who Peter is without even unmasking Spider-Man. He's that crafty because he just remembers that they were studying the boy who got bitten by the spider.
Finally, someone with a fucking brain.
Yeah. Well, even then, at the very end of it all, the Sinister Six right, that's enough screwing around. Let's just go kill Spider-Man. And Doc Ock goes, no, he's all right. He's cool. And Norman doesn't like hearing that.
Oh, wait. It is I love comparing that fight to the first fight of the Sinister Six, where they all attacked individually, but here it's all of them fucking going at it.
Literally, that's how they should have done it from the start. Let's all just go to his house and kill him.
Yeah. Let's just all individually attack, so it's almost like he's just fighting us one by one.
What winds me up is they kidnap Peter's aunt and girlfriend, but none of them know that Peter is Spider-Man. It's pure coincidence.
Stan Lee was fucking stroking himself and was like, I love this one.
They'll never know. How fuming would you be finding out years later? Well, Doc Ock is, again, I know it's like a Scorpion episode. When Peter took his mask off in Civil War, the next time he fights Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock is pissed off because back in the 60s, he beat Spider-Man and took off his mask, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he goes, Spider-Man was so easy to defeat, no way are you really Spider-Man.
He was sick.
And he was the whole time.
He was ill. Yeah. And then because he unmasked him right in front of fucking Jameson and Betty and all that.
Yeah. And everyone's like, he must have just been trying to save his aunt from Dr. Octopus. So he dressed up like Spider-Man.
What about that time? I think it was issue 87 or something where he's sick again. Okay, every time he's sick, he just goes fucking delusional.
And is this when Blackie Jago mashes him up?
No, this was I don't even think there was a villain in this issue, but Peter, Harry, Gwen, MJ, and George Stacy are in their house.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And Peter bursts through the door and he's like, "I'm Spider-Man," and he's holding the mask and he's just
holding the mask.
Runs out.
No one believes
out. He goes, "I'm Spider-Man." Runs away.
But then isn't it when George Stacy dies and he's like, "Look after Gwen, Peter." He's like, "Oh my God, George Stacy knew I was Spider-Man." It's like, yeah, you told him.
You told everyone. They were just too stupid to figure it out. Especially Gwen. Isn't she meant to be the smart one out of all of them? Couldn't figure that one out.
Well, Harry's dad's a bit of a scientist, so you'd think he'd have something about him. Ooh.
I'm something of a scientist.
Is this the best? Yes, played to death. Is this the best animated Scorpion we've ever got? I would say yes. Only because the competition, they left him out of spectacular except one little cheeky reference at the end. Ultimate
Spider-Man?
Yeah, but he was Iron Fist's bad guy because he was from Kunlun.
Oh, that's right. That's fucking right.
Yeah. I've not seen 2017, so I can't speak on it.
Mate. That was
Did they have a Scorpion?
Marvel Spider-Man cartoon. Let's see here.
Have I got Catwoman's Wikipedia up?
I don't think they did.
Was he not silver? He wasn't even green. Anything? Was it 2017?
Yeah, that one.
Let's have a look.
Mate, I hated the Scorpion design from Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, he was disgusting, wasn't he?
Yeah, I remember it's just weird. It's like the cross species.
Yeah, they made him Spanish like Ultimate Scorpion. And then completely... Oh, I've got one, yeah. He was in 2017, but he looks like shit.
As per usual.
Yeah.
What did you think about the color scheme of Scorpion in this one? Because didn't they change it to more of a lighter green sort of combo instead of like green black? It was light green, dark green.
Better than his initial comic one, because in the comics he's just in it's all the same solid color green, and it's just got stripes on. Well, in this, at least his gloves and boots are a darker shade.
And I mean, this is the figure I have, is the one of this costume, because I think the colors stand out better.
Yeah.
Although I did like when they went for that sort of same costume, but the more like black and green.
There's a panel
looks sick.
where there's a panel from like the 90s, I think, where like on one side it's Scorpion putting on his mask, and on the other side it's Spider-Man. I like it when he's meant to be like a mirror to Spider-Man, to the point where if you could make Scorpion's eyes so you can't see his eyes, if you give him lenses, you know what I mean? Basically, take Spider-Man's mask and make it green.
He is forgotten, though.
That would have been sick.
He is pretty forgotten.
He's often left out, isn't he? Considering he should be a key player.
Yeah, but even with his, like, we're talking about his old costume. Remember how shit the old tail was?
Yeah, it was just a circle.
Yeah, it didn't even, like, have a spike. Where would it sting you?
Exactly, mate. It would thwomp you, and that's it. But then, on the inverse, the PS4 game Scorpion I thought was shit as well. Why is he in Iron Man armor?
Scorpion's had some as well?
Dog shit designs. There's a 2099 book from when he was in the present day, and he fights a Scorpion that looks like half like the Shattered Dimension Scorpion, half the Amazing Spider-Man game Scorpion, and it's all just shit.
And we can't forget that Scorpion was sadly subjected to having his jaw cleanly taken off.
Plowed off, mate. Absolutely in one punch. Meanwhile, the looter in issue 36 tanks Spidey's blasts.
What is that design?
That is, yeah. That is from the 2099 book where Scorpion worked for, he was like working for terrorists and Miguel was working for Alchemax.
Wasn't he in Shattered Dimensions?
I think that's where they've took inspiration from, but that one was Cron Stone, who is actually from, he was another annoying thing. Cron Stone was Venom 2099, but then recently they've made him Scorpion 2099 in like a different 2099 universe.
The game design was ugly too. That was just the cross species shit anyway.
Yeah. Not like
plus,
just
I hated all like the goo
fair,
around the level.
To be fair, the 2099 Scorpion is more like a lizard where it's not a dude in a suit. He has mutated into that.
What about the TAS one?
Oh, Christ. Where they had the fucking... They like also tied Venom into it in the bio by saying it's also got goo from space on him. Did you ever clock that bit?
No way. Did they actually say that?
Yeah. They say
no way.
In his bio they say he's like a mixture. They call him Mac, and he's got... Oh, it was awful.
Jesus Christ. A zoom up of him is hideous. I always hated in that game as well. Did you ever get the cross-species suit?
Yeah, I thought it was cool because you're like man spider.
It's hideous, mate.
Yeah, it is. It's all. You can
replay the game, and you can have him kiss Gwen in that suit.
Yeah, mate. And you know she loves it.
Oh, Peter, give me those fangs.
I've been bitten. Me too.
Mate, I've seen someone saying playing a Scorpion on Spider-Man PS4 with a mod. It looks so hideous. It looks so weird. His suit is way too big for the fucking thing.
For the model.
Yeah, you can just see his tail going through the screen. That is class. What a fucking costume.
Oh god.
Even though you can see these heads like too small.
He looks like a dwarf. He looks
Don't tell Doc
like mate, that is a baby wearing a Scorpion suit.
It's fucking, was it Maria and Marie?
Yeah, Anna Maria, yeah.
Doc Ock. That was like the whole plot of Spider-Man PS4.
There's a recurring theme with Scorpion that he's just underutilized in everything. Comics, he's bottled it. Even when he was Venom, which was like an interesting idea because you'd think he'd be really like he'd suit being Venom because he's got like similar genetic whatever to Peter, doesn't he?
He just hates him.
But then he did nothing. He worked with Norman Osborn, and then he was kind of just like his pet monster until all of a sudden.
The best part was he had a cool action figure. That was the best part of his whole time as Venom.
You can see his eyes when he's Venom, though, can't you? Like, he's got the big Venom eyes,
the red eyes,
and he's got the pupil.
But didn't that stick with in certain games? I can't remember. I feel like there was a game that used that design.
Ultimate Alliance 2 had Matt Gargan as Venom.
Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's right. Yes. Ultimate Alliance 2 had some really shitty costumes. I don't know, some people love them, but I just thought they were pretty bad.
Ultimate Alliance 2 in general, I thought was dog shit.
The first one's 10 times
better.
My
god, that first one's a miracle, mate. Everything about it.
The first one feels like special. Like, it feels... Ultimate Alliance 2 is too connected to Civil War for me.
Yeah, and it ruins it because Civil War was shit anyway.
But yeah, it feels like it's too closely linked to a comic story where Ultimate Alliance 1 was more...
Yeah, it's original.
It feels like, you know how we say like the Arkham Asylum game could just be an episode of the animated series? This one could literally just be a massive tie-in event for the comics.
Yeah. No, like how Batman had Mask of the Phantasm and Mystery of the Batwoman and all that.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum could have just been another DCAU direct to video type of film.
Plus, like, even like the costumes, like I was saying, like Deadpool's suit was really ugly. You had the Matt Gargan Venom. You had
Carnage's hands were massive.
But like, yeah, the astonishing X-Men suits with like you couldn't get the classic suit at all. That's right. The costumes were really shit in this one as well. Ultimate Alliance 1 had a nice blend of like ultimate suits, classic suits, and other random ones.
Yeah.
This one was just like whatever the fuck. It made no sense.
They lost their way, didn't they?
If they MCU-fied the costumes
ahead of the curve.
I didn't think it was interesting that they basically just did. They still did a better Daredevil suit than what we got now. It baffles me. I saw the Comic-Con photos and seeing that suit without a logo is so weird.
The MCU one?
Yeah, it's like, give him that stupid logo.
Do you want it right front and center on the chest, or do you want it like off to the near the heart?
I want him to be proud of his massive D's.
His double D's.
I want his double D's on full display at all times.
Didn't Daredevil fight Scorpion quite early on as well?
He was getting like super Spider-Man's fucking rejects after a while.
He definitely was, dude.
I mean, he was fighting Electro in issue 2.
Yeah. I found it.
A few times.
Issue 81 had him fighting Scorpion, and he does get his ass handed to him, which makes sense because it's the friggin' Scorpion.
Mate, in Ultimate Alliance 1, you got the Daredevil classic suit. You had like a darker sort of red version.
Armored you had the classic Daredevil.
Suit, and the armored one. How sick is that? And then you get shit in the sequel. It's like this weird sort of blend of a black and red suit with the DDs small on his right side of his chest.
It's literally hard. You got to work harder to mess up Daredevil's suit than to make it look good. It's just solid red with horns, mate. It's easy to do.
Yeah, I love how the shows have been like, you know what? Let's get rid of the D's.
Get rid of the D's, add a couple belts, grooves, tactical spots.
It really bothers me that it looks like a vest. Like he's almost wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
Like you can tell the belt isn't stopping the jacket or anything. It's on top of it.
Is
It
this?
shouldn't be this
I
hard.
found that Ultimate Alliance 2 Daredevil. That does look crap, mate. With like the web things on the legs.
I'm trying to
The
find
one
it
I'm
because
looking at.
all I get is Ultimate Alliance 3 for some reason.
He's got black arms and legs, but the legs have like lines up it, like
Oh,
over
that's the
his thighs and
costume.
his
That's an
knee.
alternative one.
That looks like shit.
It looks horrible. It looks so bad.
Christ, look how Buffy looks in the first one.
Yeah.
Is this a mod?
But do you remember his voice in the first one? How deep of a voice he had?
I can't see.
Truer words have never been spoken.
He's right. He can't see.
I love in Mark Wade's run, I think.
Yeah.
He's teaming up with Cap. No, sorry, it might be the after Mark Wade's run. Cap is old now, and he's trying to defuse a bomb. But it's a digital bomb, so he can't see how much time is left. And then Cap's like, he explains the bomb to Cap, and he's like, "Oh, that's easy." He goes like, "Oh, you just need to cut this wire," and he's like, I don't know." He's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
Do you remember in Ultimate where they all team? It's like Ultimate Defenders or something in Spider-Man, and they all team up with Doctor Strange and Daredevil and Moon Knight, and Doctor Strange does magic for them to track Spider-Man, and it's like a glowing line of light, and he goes like, "Oh, there you go, let's just follow this," and Daredevil's like, "Follow what?"
I love when they just make jokes of the fact they can't fucking see.
Yeah. That's
Oh, mate, I finally found his standard suit in Ultimate Alliance 2. It's better than the Netflix show. It's because it's got that same sort of vibe, like almost a Ben Affleck vibe with the zip up.
Ooh.
But the zip up has the double D front and center.
I think the Ben Affleck suit is what that last alternate suit was in the first one. You said it was darker red. I think that might be what that was meant to be.
Did you always think the cowl was weird? Like how he had that sort of bandana thing?
In what? Ultimate Alliance?
And Daredevil, the old movie? How like his mask wasn't really a mask. It was like you had to tie it up at the back.
Did he? I haven't watched it in years. 2003 Mask. Let me look. What's your favourite Scorpion look then, man? Like he wore blue in the 2000s. Yeah.
That's right. I'd say probably roughly during the Mark Bagley era, where it's very similar to this. It's like a mixture of this design and the classic one.
Yeah.
Where his like mouth was still covered green.
Yeah, I like that. As I say, I like it when he mirrors Spider-Man.
But he had like a more of a like a dark green sort of palette instead of a light green, dark green thing.
Oh yeah, and he's got like black undies.
Yeah, it's just, and sometimes like it looks metallic almost.
Oh yeah, that does look sick.
What would you say your favorite is?
I like, just for, as I say, I like a mirroring Spider-Man. And I think Ultimate Scorpion looks cool in that regard. He's got like similar lenses. It's like covering all his body so you can't tell what he looks like underneath.
Wasn't he also a clone?
He was Peter Parker. And you know what? After that story, no one ever mentions him again. It's one of the it's one of the unanswered questions of the Ultimate Universe that keeps me awake.
I do like how both like have done the Clone Saga and both swiftly moved past it afterwards. Yeah. Even though I think that the Ultimate Universe actually did a better version of the Clone Saga.
Oh, by far, just because it wasn't bogged down by like an extra 6 years.
Yeah. Did you ever notice that Ben Affleck's Daredevil, like the mask and shit, looks like Gene Colan? Like he looks like a Gene Colan Daredevil in the face. Like he's got those massive fucking eyes.
Cool deep cut reference, mate.
It just reminds me of the 60s DD where his eyes were like massive.
He has got huge ones. I'm looking at the death of Mike Murdoch. I didn't type in Mike Murdoch or nothing. I typed in Gene Cole and Daredevil, and he has got huge looking eyes, don't he?
It's sort of synopsis. Like, it's just how he looked in the 60s, but it sort of worked for the time.
Yeah.
Plus, Ben Affleck's got the same butt chin. No way.
Ben Affleck, the definitive
Daredevil. He actually was, to be fair. Like, I actually didn't mind him as Daredevil.
Maybe it's because I was a kid when I was watching it, but I didn't never think the movie was like shit.
I like the director's cut a lot more.
Oh yeah, yeah, by far, mate.
Especially because it, like, in the normal version they acknowledge this case going on and then never again mention it. But in the director's cut, you actually see the case unfold and see the outcome through Foggy. Gives Foggy something to do.
Nice. Jon Favreau's Foggy, mate.
He was a bit of a horn dog. I'm not gonna. He's a bit of a.
It's Foggy, mate. Have you met Foggy? You met his wife.
Foggy was. He seemed a bit more into it, you know.
Ooh.
Like he's defo into some things. You think like the hotel chair, like in the room, is for Foggy, and then the bed is for his wife and Micah Sin.
Gotta be, mate. Micah Sin's a man of class.
Oh god! Did you notice that Christopher Daniel Barnes just sounded a bit more natural in this episode?
He's fell into if this was episode 2, he's quickly fell into the role, hasn't he?
I sort of just felt like every line was just really fun.
I liked when Aunt May tells him to be careful not to stay out too late because he might catch a bug as he sees Scorpion jumping around. He goes, "Certainly hope so."
Or like some mugger after my money.
Oh yeah,
I could find any, I would split it with him.
Oh, that was probably my favorite one. But there was loads of like bullshitty ones. Like Felicia says to him, "You're really good talking about like radiation and that," and he goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Must be in my blood." Because as we all know from the intro, he's got that radioactive spider blood.
It's like a hypnotizing fucking song, isn't it?
Yeah. And then when he's
radioactive spider blood,
fighting them thugs at the start, and they go, "It's Spider-Man," and he goes, "Spider-Man? Where?"
Where? I get so flustered.
They just spot the reused animation within like 3 seconds. The thug shot like 4 rockets at him, and it played the same gentle like pendulum swinging.
Well, I love at the end though where Jameson, you know, he had that redemption, but he still, it was like, "No, I still hate your guts. And I won't rest until, you know, you're unmasked." And he's like, "Well, I will not rest until you shave that stupid mustache."
Spidey offers him his hand and he goes, "I suppose things will be different between us now." And Jonah goes, "No way."
I love when, like, after he does the mustache joke, he says something else to him, like, "Oh, and you saved my life."
Yeah, thanks for saving my life.
It's Pickle Puss. Yeah, he, like, fully, like, starts cringing in the corner.
I loved as well. Gargan goes, "People have been making fun of me my whole life." And Jonah goes, "Yeah, I can see why."
He was bullied the entire time.
Tortured. Even Stillwell, where he tells him he's using radiation to give him powers. And Gargan goes, "Radiation? Ain't that stuff dangerous?" Stillwell goes, "Not for someone of your limited intellect." What?
Even Spidey mentioned the Fantastic Four to him.
Yeah, twice. He says, like, "If that's something or other, I'm the Human Torch." And then later on he goes, "If you're looking to join the Fantastic Four, you're in the wrong place."
Is that a reference to the Amazing Spider-Man issue 1?
Gotta be, mate. And it truly was an Amazing Spider-Man.
What else was there about this episode? I did find it funny that Liz was basically just using him for grades.
Oh yeah, she's a cheeky bitch. And then she liked it though when he treated her like death.
Yeah.
He runs away to fight crime, and she's like, maybe I was wrong.
When she said, like, who does he think he is, in my head, and the way she looks, I was like, that's Gwen Stacy. That is exactly what Gwen Stacy would do.
Every other boy will give me a tumble, but not Peter Parker.
It's like when MJ used to call him Dad.
Sport.
I always found it weird when the Thing would call Alicia a kid.
I know, yeah. Nonce.
Just finished giving her like the Rock 5000, and he's like, "You did good, kid. You did good."
We had the neogenic Recombinator. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you think it's weird that Jameson's like pissed that Peter basically gives him good shots of Spidey?
Yeah, he was like dead rude to him about it, wasn't
he? Yeah, he's like what the fuck? Robbie was saying like, "Oh, never in my entire career have I seen someone as good as you," and Jameson's fuming at the fact. It's like, why?
Suspicious, mate, because Peter's only, what, like 19? And yeah, he's so good.
Look at
Does he help?
He's bloody henched.
The balls on Jonah, though, like, talking shit to him. What if Peter just turned around? Even if he didn't know he's got spider powers, he could still beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. This guy could hold his own easily. Realistically, he'd be bullying this Flash, not the other way around.
Yeah. Who was the goon who killed Jonah's wife then? Does he come back later? Because there is a Jigsaw Jameson episode in which he investigates Robbie's false imprisonment.
I don't even remember. I can't remember anything about like that guy coming back.
I'm gonna say it was Crime Master. We couldn't see his face. He could have been wearing the mask.
Well, he did have a black shadow, and the Crime Master does wear black on his mask.
Ew. Yeah, and he committed a crime. A Crime Master.
He got away with it.
Committing crimes.
Only someone that's a master.
Foswell? Didn't Crime Master work at the Bugle in the comics?
Yeah, they were like besties, weren't they?
He was Was he Foswell? Or am I thinking Patch?
Oh no, Foswell was Patch, and then yeah, I think.
Then who was Crime Master? Oh, Thingy Leeds, Betty's brother.
Crime Master identity. Doesn't he have like? Didn't someone buy his identity as well?
Probably, dude.
Bennett Brand.
Wasn't it? Yeah, Bennett Brand. That was it. Foswell must have been Patch. He was like
kidnapped a young boy who wanted to become his disciple and taught him to kill. At adulthood, he became his own jack-o'-lantern.
Sounds like Batman, that. Kidnapped a kid to train him as his disciple. You're gonna have to wear these
pumpkin underwear. No,
is that the jack-o'-lantern that messed with Flash's venom?
Well, he'd have to be a bit older, wouldn't he? Because he'd have to grow up, and growing up in comic books is so weird.
It's so weird because like Dylan Brock is like 12. Normie, I can pinpoint the issue where Normie was born, and now he's like 9.
He was fighting that fat kid that had the tentacles thing.
Yeah, Spider Kid.
He was trying to impress that girl. Honestly, that period, there was a certain period at that time where I think maybe 5 issues in a row, it was really rough. Like you had was it that Cloud9 guy?
Wasn't there a villain literally called Corona who was spreading virus?
Yeah, that was like a Mexican woman, I think.
Yeah.
But like in that time of like those was it 280s, those issues? You had this like random guy that he stopped with a 9 in his name. I forget his name. You had that issue with Spider Kid. You had fucking.
He went missing too, didn't he? Spider-Man goes missing right before like Venom turns up because he fights Chance.
Yeah, and then all the comics were like, "Where's
Peter Parker?" He was trapped under some crumbling villain base or some shit.
And then they always kept showing that like image of, wasn't it his hand in the rubble?
Yeah.
And that's when that was around the time
dead.
when wasn't it when he gets pushed in the tracks by the woman?
Yeah, and that was Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Very feminine hand there, Eddie.
He's taking my life, my gender,
my calloused hands. His
I've
hands would have been huge
boy.
too. He was he was a bodybuilder too, Eddie, so his hands would have been like rough as hell from all the metal.
I love how they just casually brushed over the fact that they just completely changed the idea. What would you say you'd rank this episode? We should be probably writing our rankings down because we've easily forgotten them all.
It was no Spider Slayer, I'll tell you that.
And that's a good thing.
Wasn't as good as episode 1.
Wasn't
as good as episode 5.
I think Spidey was better in this episode, but overall, I think like Spidey in general, like the way he acted but I think the Mysterio one might stay on top.
I think for me it probably goes in order of good to bad. Lizard, Mysterio, Doc Ock, this, Spider Slayers.
Yeah,
or in fact, I'd probably swap this and Doc Ock around because the Doc Ock one, for one of his primary foes in the comics, Doc Ock turns up and normally you're like, oh shit. In the cartoon, he's kind of just another villain, isn't he? There's nothing special about him.
He just gets excited when Peter wants to see the fucking the experiment. You want to see my experiment? Oh, goody.
But even later on, I'd say like Morbius is a more intense villain for Spider-Man than this Doc Ock. He does come back and do more crime, but none of it's ever like personal. It's not Venom or Goblin level.
Mate, there's one thing I don't want to see. It's Morbius's suction cup hands.
His plasma sucking little bitey palms, mate.
I need plasma.
Can't say blood, even though the intro says blood like 40 times.
Wasn't Blade white in that episode?
He's he's a lighter shade than normal.
Why?
And he bangs Terry Lee.
Oh. Wasn't she on your poll the other day? Not literally.
Oh.
That sounded
she was on Blades. Yeah, because she's not like Renee Montoya started off in Batman the Animated Series, and she's now such a big character. She herself is the Question in DC. Meanwhile, over with Marvel, they don't really do that.
Have they ever done that? Where they've like taken something from a cartoon? I mean, I guess the symbiote story counts, but
Silvermane.
Yeah.
He's got a daughter in this cartoon later called like Alicia. She recently was in Silk.
Was she?
Yeah. So like they've never done something. It's never been like Harley Quinn levels or even Livewire levels, but they've messed around a little bit with it.
Where's Arsenic Candy?
Oh, yeah. Where the hell is Arsenic Candy? But speaking of your favorite recent release, Spectacular Spider-Man, had Kenny Kong.
Oh, yes, that is right. Yes.
Bendis' number one self-insert. Oh, no, because he was from Ultimate First, wasn't he? Excuse me. He was from the comics. Never mind.
I
forgot he was literally...
That Kong was almost just like the cartoon one.
Yeah, because it's like 616 Kong. But the Venom book, when his son become Venom, Dylan become Venom, he was in high school and his bully was called Kenny Kong. So
no,
why is there now like
that's just Kenny that got held back?
Yeah,
he's like 30 years old.
He works at the coffee shop on weekends.
Yeah, he's still in high school.
Back in high school for the rest of the week. But there's never been like a Terry Lee. Does Marvel even had any other Shit like the new animated series just took villains and changed them a little bit. Like Pterodax, and the Talon was just Black Cat.
I'm even trying to search it up. I can't find anything where they've appeared first in a cartoon.
Not even like Avengers Assemble.
No, but I do hate the fact that when it says like it shows a bunch of Spidey characters, everyone's got their comic photo except Flash Thompson.
Oh, has he got the MCU?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god. How could you get the casting so unbelievably wrong?
Brutal. Morph?
Bring back Chris Zylka, what the fuck? Bring him back.
Oh yeah, from Amazing.
Yeah, he's
Happily,
my
mate.
Flash.
Suppose Morph, I think, the one who was in Exiles from X-Men, I think he started in the animated series, according to this.
But
According to Wikipedia.
It's hard because I think they might have retconned
like
a character
Morph
back in the 60s to be Morph.
That's a bit of bullshit to me.
See, I remember this a bit because on my X-Men video, people were getting pissy about it.
How so?
I think it was something about like me saying that I even mentioned the fact that I didn't know much about Morph, and I think I got his powers wrong or the extent of his powers, and you know how they get.
The one in Exiles could do more than just. He was more than just Mystique.
Well, see, it says he appeared in X-Men 35 as Kevin Sidney.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that's retcon, then.
Yeah, but
that'd be like saying
some people.
You could say Chameleon fought Captain America in World War II. He was just looking like Hitler.
It's hard when it's like, whenever a recent change happens, it's just not as valid to me. When someone tries to prove a point and they use a comic fact from the last couple years ago, it's like, hey, is it though?
Yeah. Yeah, because it was done recently specifically to jump on the bandwagon, not because of any artistic integrity type of thing.
Yeah, it's like, it's the reasons aren't as, pure.
Like, let's say the 2017 Spider-Man turned Electro into a woman. We could have been like, well, that's a bit stupid. And then someone would go, well, in Dan Slott's run in 2014, Electro was a woman. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
3 years ago, probably in preparation for this.
Yeah, it's like, it's you can't win sometimes.
That's why I don't go farther than 2005.
It's the safe way to play, isn't it?
Oh, the MCU's absolutely bottled it.
Well, I mean, you got Iron Man was 2008, and I loved Iron Man 1. I like how Iron Man 1 was even just a good adaptation of Tales of Suspense 39.
Yeah, it's sick, mate, when he's in the cave still kicking some ass.
But they literally just swapped it from was it Vietnamese people to
yes, to the Middle East.
Yeah, they just swapped them around.
What
was relevant to today?
The Iron Man cartoon had someone called Hypnoshare. And I'm trying to think if they've ever put her in. There's a mutant who hangs out with Blockbuster and who's that?
Oh my god, I remember.
Freaking idiot. Who's got hypnotic powers, and I'm trying to think if that's meant to be air adapted. But now I don't. Vertigo.
Her costume is so weird.
Yeah. I'm not sure if she's meant to be Vertigo or if she come first. Hang on, did Human Fly come first?
There's two flies?
Oh,
there's the hero Human Fly?
The one from the 60s cartoon. Stan and Lee went on a crime spree in New York. No way. What were the names? Stan Patterson and Lee Patterson.
Stan was there thinking they'll never get it.
Do you remember the episode of this cartoon with the Prowler? And like the mob boss that he's indebted to is some dude called Iceberg.
Vividly, mate. I haven't seen the Prowler one in a long time.
But you remember this rip-off Mr. Freeze? He never made it to comics. Even though I think an ice villain, not like Coldheart, like a Mr. Freeze type of villain would be cool for Spidey. Because he couldn't really use his webs, could he? Because they'd just freeze him.
I just searched it up now. Yeah, now I remember fucking Iceberg. What is that hair?
Why didn't they just use Hammerhead or the Kingpin that they already had?
Wow, that's shocking, mate.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
That is shocking. Jake Pierce's Iceberg, Marvel Comics?
Oh, was he in it?
What was his name? Jake Pierce? Oh, Jack Pierce. Was it Jack Pierce?
Oh, it's unknown in the comic, in the cartoon.
We can count it. Creators Dan Slaughter.
A load of when I've typed in cartoon original characters, a load from Spider-Man the new animated series has come up, like Indira Diamonji, who Spidey. Her name's, they call her Indy in the cartoon, and she's like his love interest. And at the end, Spider-Man crushes her throat and makes her foam itself.
Yeah, that's right. It was like a fucking Web of Shadows failed QuickTime event.
It was pretty wild, mate. But to be fair, while it was happening, when he thinks he's choking the Gaines twin, and then he turns around and sees both the twins, and he's oh, drama.
I love that show. Disney Plus took it off, mate. Did you see
bastards? That? No. Why would they do that?
I was trying to find it like just the other day, and they took it off.
Oh.
I'm lucky I got it on DVD.
Yeah, mate. That bit where they, in the final episode, the introduction of it, where Spider-Man's fighting Kraven, kicks ass, mate. He's pissed off. And it's like, someone's gonna die here.
I like how it even feels like linked to the Daredevil world.
Yeah, because it's got Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin. It was so weird.
Did you ever hear that it was meant to be like an Ultimate Spider-Man show?
Yeah, because there's that one scene in there where he's jumping on the roof and he's like, "Ooh, hot roof." But yeah, it was meant to be an adaptation of Ultimate. And it ended up being
it makes me get very upset. It gets me so upset because an Ultimate Spider-Man show would have been so good.
If it followed the comic, absolutely, mate.
Yeah, we've already seen what happens when it doesn't.
Yeah, Christ. They literally should. They've got now that it's finished. Like, they can never adapt all of Amazing Spider-Man. There's too much. But now that Ultimate's been finished for years, they
could literally just something issues. It's nothing.
100. I think it's like 57 or something. Literally, dude. If you just do panel by panel as well, because of how Bendis writes, you can get through it.
And like, even it's funny because manga and anime kick comics ass right now.
Oh yeah.
And one of the best things that they do is they'll take a manga and they will adapt it one for one for like a short movie that's animated or like a show. And it'll be like literally just like reading the fucking book. And then Marvel look at that and go, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Mate. And they'd rather cast like 13-year-olds as Spider-Man.
But at least DC has like All-Star Superman, you know, like they have some sort of comic short films.
Listen, outside of live action movies, DC clears Marvel completely.
Yeah, Marvel used to try, but not anymore.
Nah, mate. Like, Marvel, they don't even do proper animated films. They could take some of their, like, masterpieces, like Born Again, and make it like an animated film just following this comic story. And it'd be brilliant.
We're getting Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Are you serious?
Absolute shit. like, it's like they're picking on us. Like, what have we done? Meanwhile, like, even I've not seen the second part of the long Halloween Batman cartoon one, but we've still got Year One. We've still got Mask of the Phantasm. We've got All Star Superman.
Like Superman versus the Elites.
Yeah, with DC, you can turn around and you can watch their prime evergreen stories in motion.
And wasn't they even did that that Batman Superman story with Supergirl and Darkseid were there, didn't they?
They did two of them because they did Public Enemies, and then I think that one's called World's Finest, and both of them are pretty good. They've even got Conroy as Batman.
Isn't it also like the animation looks like Ed McGuinness's comic art?
Yeah. Even like the New Frontier was good.
You got Batman Under the Red Hood, which is hailed as one of the best,
mate.
Animated films.
He's not going that Comic-Con now.
Sorry?
Remember we were saying the local Comic-Con in November, Jensen Ackles was going, who was Red Hood.
Oh, yeah?
He's not going now. He's cancelled.
No way.
I know. Fuming. I might still go and just look at like the toys and the comics, but I'm not like going and shaking any Harry Potter weirdo's hand.
It's just like, even it's sad because like Comic Cons don't even have much comics anymore. It's just
I know, mate. I'm gonna be sat in the corner, just like, oh, this was a waste of 50 quid. But yeah,
DC
what else did we got?
The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, which was my introduction to the comic. Was I had those DVDs.
I can't believe they kept in the topless Nazi woman with the swastikas on her tits. Keep it in.
It's Frank Miller in a nutshell. But like, I remember watching that because the best part is seeing your favorite moments translated to, even if it's animation to screen.
Yeah.
And seeing like Batman go this, like, this isn't a mud pit, it's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. And he snaps his arm and like, yeah, it's so fucking cool. It's even one of my favorite moments.
They did go a bit to shit when they focused on building. The MCU ruined it. There you go. Because when they did Flashpoint Paradox, didn't they? Which was good as well.
That was also, that did pretty well.
But then everything after was, again, because of the MCU, it was all a connected universe. Their own world? Yeah, and after Justice League War, they were just a bit shit. Like, Batman versus Robin, Batman Bad Blood. There's a scene in Justice League Dark where they fight a literal monster made of human shit. And then Apocalypse War, the less said about that, the better. The Judas Contract.
That one was like average at best. I feel
at
like
least
it's they made it work
for a good story.
World. Yeah, it was just like it was made to fit with their sort of team and universe.
Yeah. Hush, they kind of ruined because they made it Riddler at the end.
Yeah, but it was weird. I saw Hush. I bought a classic Lego Batman set from like 2008 online, and when it finally arrived, they put on Batman Hush just on the background as I was building it, and that was like the most peaceful I've ever been.
That sounds like idyllic, mate. It's like no distractions outside. Focus.
So when I was building the Lego Daily Bugle set, I had the fucking X-Men show going on the entire time. I was in total bliss.
Nice.
I don't think I was ever more happier. Just sitting there content. I finished the whole show.
All of it. How big was the friggin' Bugle set?
It's tall as. It's fucking massive, mate. It's literally one. It's like 4 stories. What else was there? You had Gotham by Gaslight. They did do that one. They had Red Sun.
Anyone that wasn't set in their shit little new DCAU, where it was all edgy and blood and shit and that, were alright. Like Gotham by Gaslight, I remember thinking that was okay. There
was a Wonder Woman one. There was a Green Lantern Emerald Knights one.
Red Sun as well. I remember thinking, I'd read the comic of Red Sun. Oh, Doom was boss. Justice League Doom and Crisis on Two Earths, then to a sixth.
Green Lantern First Light. Or First Flight, sorry. My bad.
Meanwhile, Marvel just don't really do that type of shit.
You know what Marvel released? You know what Marvel released?
Go.
A fucking Lego short, like a cheap Lego short film, starring Demolition Man.
No way, dude. D-Man himself.
It just came out on Disney Plus. Like, it's literally on fucking... If you search up Lego D-Man, it should come up.
Where I'm up to in Captain America comics, D-Man's just died fighting Red Skull. He, like, crashed into the ice or something, and Captain America thinks he's dead. Right before Acts of Vengeance.
You search up fucking Lego Avengers D-Man. Put Avengers in it so you can get the poster in all its glory. Mate, the Thing is in it. Gambit's in it. Terax is the main villain.
What the hell? Genuinely, D-Man was sick in the book. He's huge and scary, but he's like everyone's best mate, except for what's his name, Nomad, but he's a dick anyway. Mission
D-Man
Demolition.
In this, I think he worked at Damage Control. What a legend, mate.
Give us some D-Man action, mate. We should play D-Man in not Arnold.
Alan Richardson, probably.
Yeah, he's got the muscle, dude.
He could do that crazy face.
Mate, he stole Nomad's girlfriend just by being a sweetheart. Every time there's a scene where they're all in prison because they were fighting the Serpent Society, and Captain America's gotta be the captain because the government owned the name Captain America and he's been fired. So no one can prove that this is the Avenger Captain America with them. So they're just sat in prison. And D-Man's like, could be worse, fellas. We've no one died. We're all together. We're all still. And everyone's like, shut up, D-Man.
But I specifically remember an episode where Alan Richardson in Titans was like fully nude, I think. But I think Jason Todd had something to do with it. There might have been a bomb in him.
In him?
He was definitely
shagging Dove, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Even though I think it's his little brother in the comics.
His brother died in the show. Like, there was a car crash and then his girlfriend takes over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fucking... I think he had a bomb in him. Yeah, I think Jason Todd like tells him to go somewhere, and he's like, "I need you to prove you're not white or anything." So he just makes him take off all his clothes. What the fuck was that show? What is Marvel's animated films?
They've literally got like 2 shit Ultimate Avengers ones, and that's it. And like instead of
Hulk vs. Wolverine.
Ooh. Doesn't he fight Thor in that as well?
Well, there is a Thor one apparently. They really haven't done much.
I know, it's abysmal, considering they're owned by Disney, who built the foundations of the 2D movie. Like, instead of doing all this Spider-Man shit, give us like... They could do like Gotham by Gaslight, but make it Spider-Man Noir. Just adapt the first 4 issues of Spider-Man Noir or 2099. Just direct to video.
Give us Demolition Man.
Yeah, give us D-Man. Give us Daredevil stuff. They could do the trilogy of Marvel Knights Spider-Man. They could do it.
Give me good. Like, you could do Mayor Fisk, Devil's Reign.
They could
have all the street heroes.
They could clean it up so you don't have to know, like, oh, well, who's Falcon's girlfriend in this? You know what I mean? They could clean it so it's clear and then just crack on.
Imagine Kraven's Last Hunt.
Mate, an animated Kraven's Last Hunt would be fantastic. You could have the prologue being, like, the first fight so you see what, like, why he hates him, why he wants to do him in. Build up from
but could you imagine how cool it'd be just even the inner monologue?
Yeah. but they're squandering it, and they'd rather make shit like Homecoming, which costs millions
Friendly
instead
Neighborhood.
of just they'd rather waste, which is had no like advertising that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be dead on arrival.
Oh, definitely, mate. It's probably already been cancelled before it's even come out.
I think there was some promotion at Comic-Con today. But if I'm being honest, I'm quietly... Well, the only thing I'm looking forward to is Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, yeah. For Marvel as a whole now, mate.
That's the only thing I remotely care about.
The games are shit, the movies are shit, the comics are shit. Except for the occasional good one.
I'm honestly like, I hope that Muse is the main villain for the show. Like, I want Kingpin to be saved because he's considering he's going to be mayor, like for a massive Devil's Reign project. Whether it's a movie or not, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I want like Muse to get some spotlight because it is pretty. I think he could be done really well in a dark, gritty show, considering he kills people and uses them for artwork. I think that he would like translate really well onto screen.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Nothing ever got done with MCU Scorpion either, did it?
I was just about to say, like, well, considering doing Scorpion for today, he's never reappeared since.
And it was one of them. It was the worst fucking thing you can do with these characters, where they went, "Look, it's the Scorpion. He's got a scorpion tattoo."
It's
just stupid. Like, even like Colin Farrell's Bullseye was better, and he did the same thing of like, of course it's Bullseye. Look, they don't give him a costume, but they'll give him like something that's like a hint towards what he is in the comics.
I never liked how he's like, give me a costume, never got one.
Yeah. But Scorpion didn't even get that far. He's like, me and my boys are going to break out and kill Spider-Man. What are we now, 7 years later?
What if he tried, but the guards were just too good? So they just got like into solitary or some shit.
You see him like pocket the shiv, pocket like a plastic fork at lunch, and they go, "Oh, Gargan." Was his name even Matt Gargan in a Homecoming, or was it something like?
Doesn't look like
something
one.
Spanish. Maximilian. Hang on.
Matt Gargan. It's meant to be Matt Gargan.
But now that they've got,
doesn't look like a Matt Gargan.
You know what would have been cool, and there's how you fix MCU Scorpion.
Status in custody.
They should have made him.
He's getting out.
Oh yeah, get rinsed. He's even got like a badge around his neck. Yeah. What if he was like undercover FBI trying to catch the Vulture and Spider-Man swooping in, cocked it up? Because why would Jameson go to this criminal and give him superpowers?
Unless, because it's the MCU, he happens to find some Stark tech laying around.
Of course.
Paints it green. And thinks, and he's like trying to figure out what his gimmick should be, and he's looking in the mirror, and he goes, "Wait a second, I got it."
Wow,
I'll be a
this
scorpion.
This is some real tough armor. It feels kind of like the body of a scorpion. Say that again.
He kills a spider on the ground, and he goes, "Spiders are cowardly and superstitious a lot." And he's like, "Wait a second. It's all falling into place now. I hate spiders."
Matt Gargan, what a joke.
Fucking glues on the scorpion suit.
Genuinely though, dude, you make him like internal, make him like an undercover agent, and then at least it makes sense. If Jonah turns around and gives this idiot superpowers now, no one's going to ever take Jonah seriously again.
Yeah, for good reason. I mean, this Jonah's a bit of a joke anyway.
Oh, he's pathetic in this. He's that Alex Jones, isn't he? Instead of taking the character they put their own politics back into it and made him like a laughingstock.
Mate, I hate when he does that. When he's like wearing half a suit.
Yeah.
And the bottom half is just like shorts and slippers. It's like,
yeah,
on.
mate. They're so lazy. They can't help but like I'm not American. I don't give a shit who's in charge of America. I'm here to watch Spider-Man kick some ass, and I've got to sit through your thinly veiled parodies.
Yeah, no.
What's going on there?
Even in Spider-Man PS4, it's like Danica's like, or even Spider-Man 2, I should say Danica's the like, the new gen sort of podcast, and then Jameson's the old sort of, the other side podcast, and it's like, well, where's the panel pals when you really need them?
Have you heard, apparently Captain America 4 ends with General Ross giving himself in, and the Falcon looks at the camera and goes, "Thank you, Mr. President, for holding yourself accountable for your actions." Hints.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I've read. It ends with him like, Falcon literally says, "Good work, President, for doing the right thing and turning yourself in." It's like, oh, fuck off.
My jaws dropped.
I don't.
My God.
It's like, I don't want to be American. It's a shithole over there, dude. It's risk. I don't want to go. So stop injecting. This is why I like fucking Dragon Ball, because none of this shit happens in Dragon Ball. They just go in and they fight.
I'm trying to find this shit. Was this like from 2 weeks ago?
I think, yeah. Well, it was 4chan when I read it on, so that might be
the movie was shown recently, unfinished VFX for a test audience.
I've heard it's dog shit anyway, like it's awful.
They made Amadeus Cho.
That was in it, yeah, that I read.
Is it at the end? It says, movie never really showed us why Sam is Captain America, or why he should continue to lead the Avengers. I'm just skim reading through, and it sounds horrible.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching that shit, mate.
But it's even like, people saying it's continuing the trend of like the fourth movie being like mediocre. Mediocre?
We've only had Thor, haven't we? Even Endgame was shit as well. Suddenly they've got a time machine. Thor was shit. Endgame was crap.
Mate, all Endgame needed was fucking Warlock.
But they suddenly turn around and they go, "Oh yeah, we've got a time machine." What?
Yeah, Tony Stark. Yeah, I figured out time travel, by the way.
You literally, the very high tech, but he's a man who builds tanks. The wearable tanks. I do love.
They never properly explained it though.
No, they specifically go out the way to
like messing around.
Yeah.
He's just messing around. He's like, "Oh shit, I did it." It's like, well, what did you do?
And then they turn around and they go, "It's not like in Back to the Future." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And that's all the explanation we get.
It's like, how do you even know this? You just figured out how to do time travel just 2 seconds ago.
Lazy, right?
Plus, Back to the Future makes more sense than anything else.
Yeah. One set timeline.
It really does make more sense. And it's why it would forever be my favorite. It's one of my. I love Back to the Future. You can watch that. I never get sick of it.
No, it's best.
I've seen it since I was a kid. I've watched it religiously. Never ever stopped getting sick of that.
Yeah, it's a good bloody film, mate. Oh, what a trilogy! Fantastic.
It's pretty weird when 2015 hit. And it's like,
where's
the hoverboard?
Yeah.
If anything, we've just degressed. We've fucking regressed as a whole.
I'll tell you what, we have regressed then. We've not really discussed much Scorpion because, honestly, as we say, there's not a lot that they've done with him. Even in the comics, there's just nothing there. He's mostly just someone's bodyguard. is probably his biggest role in the 60 years he's been a character. Would have been in Marvel Knight Spider-Man, where it's revealed he's the one who's kidnapped Aunt May, the whole like crux of the story, under orders from Norman Osborn. And then he becomes Venom, so even then it's like, is that it? He's never had a key adventure.
He's got his fucking jaw broken.
There's a panel when the Sinister 12 are beating the shit out of Spider-Man, thinks he's going to die. And then the Avengers and like the Fantastic Four roll in and save him. And of all heroes, Daredevil, the balls on Daredevil, this is why they call him Daredevil. He goes straight for Venom and kicks him in the face. So like, Daredevil, okay, dude, Iron Man was there, but Daredevil was like, leave Venom to me. What risk?
Like, but you can't just call him Daredevil because he's gonna have a fucking traumatic flashback.
But seriously, dude, if you're gonna have Daredevil there, he's gotta do something ballsy.
I love that when he mentions like, if I could see, I wouldn't do half the shit I'm doing.
Yeah, he knows. There's actually quite a cool bit in that very book as well, where Gargan like rips half a building down and throws it at the people when he's Venom. Though again, we're trying to talk about Scorpion. I suppose he's kind of Scorpion here. He rips half a building down and throws it at like innocent people below because he's trying to slow Spidey down while the Goblin kills Mary Jane. And Peter's got a dead cool bit where he captures like all the debris and just beats the shit out of Scorpion. But again, when the highlight of your character life is getting the shit beat out of you, it's not looking good.
It's fucked. Yeah, I guess like one of his biggest accomplishments was maybe his Lego figure. I mean, that was a pretty cool one.
He worked for Justin Hammer at one point.
I mean, he's in pretty much nearly all the games.
Yeah.
He's done well for that sort of sense.
3 game appearance is weird to me because he's less of a villain and he's more the victim.
Yeah, but I love how they disregard all of Spider-Man 1.
Yeah. You meet him in Spider-Man 1, they clearly say he's from Oscorp because Oscorp are hunting him down.
But he looks more like Scorpion. It was like just the 2000 costume.
It's 2000 Scorpion, yeah, with the blue and the green.
Yeah, and then here he's like a cancer patient.
He gets Nolanified.
No.
Although,
how would this work in a realistic setting?
I love what Peter says while he's chasing Scorpion down in 3, because he's getting like mind controlled into being evil. And Peter goes, "This whole mind control thing is a little bit far fetched, but then again, I'm a guy who sticks to walls and shoots webs, so I can't really talk."
Oh mate, there's so many fucking funny moments from Spidey.
Yeah. In them games where they let Toby be Spidey. Says he's got more jokes than just "here's your change."
Yeah. Fucking Emerald Owl. Mate, it's sad when the funniest person in a Spidey film is Hoffman.
Yeah. What the hell?
My goat, Hoffman.
Oh, it's him.
Fucking love him.
Wow. And how? If I ever got on, we were speaking before about like characters that originated in something else and moved over to the comics. If I'm ever writing Spider-Man, mate, you can bet your ass Hoffman is on the bugle.
Yeah, mate. In one of the recent episodes, in comics are like, the Daily Bugle's undergone a lot of staff changes. Where's Hoffman?
Yeah,
where's my bloody Hoffman? You're telling me he hasn't appeared? Yeah, right.
No Hoffman, no Terry Lee, no Crazy Christina, no them 3 gangs in Spider-Man 3. You had the Dragon Clan, which basically, I suppose, White Dragons, Dragon Lord gang are them, sure. The Arsenic Candy, who are all like goth Harley Quinns. And the Apocalypse gang. Where are all these cool ideas going when we're done with them once?
I mean, like, especially the who was the goth woman in the animated series?
Christina.
Yeah, where's her?
Thinks Spider-Man's in love with her, so she keeps throwing herself off buildings to meet him.
Yeah, that's my kind of crazy. You saw my fucking vote.
Yeah.
See, that show actually was fucking sick, though. It was such a good show. Although the twins always reminded me of like these other twins from a Nightwing series. Forget their names. It was from the Chuck Dixon run.
Where do you start with Nightwing? Because I'm going to assume it's not the New 52. If I were to get into Nightwing. I
started with... He had a mini series where he gets the blue suit, although you can just skip that. Honestly, just if you want to read Judas Contract, then go straight to Chuck Dixon. You can really just do that. Chuck Dixon's part of infinitely better.
1996.
Chuck Dixon was class. Yeah, it should be.
Nice. Don't mind if I do. That'll be my next project.
Because he had a few miniseries before it.
I think he was in a couple of issues of Batman before as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's he had a one shot as well. Then he had a mini series which got him the blue suit, and then Chuck Dixon, I'm pretty sure, came into it. I'm trying to find it.
What DC characters could take on Scorpion?
I guess. I mean, Batman with prep time, maybe. If he gets in like a scorpion cage.
If
just gets a massive fucking
Batman's got advantage if he stays in the shadows and gets the drop on Scorpion, perhaps. Because has he ever fought someone so like powerful and fast?
Didn't in that Superman Batman comic he like went toe to toe with fucking Darkseid?
Yeah.
It's always been weird to me.
It's mad to me when like Batman will fight someone so clearly out of his wheelhouse. Like if you put him up against like Metallo, because it's Batman, of course he always wins anyway. It's like, come on, mate.
But this is like Drew requested from a member. It's 2 Detective Comic issues, like let's see, 687 and 688.
Yeah.
It's like a pirate story randomly from like the 80s or 90s. Do you know Captain Fear?
Captain Fear?
Yeah, but it's not spelled Captain, it's spelled Cap'n. Captain Fear. He's got like a fucking pirate crewmate, and he's great.
Oh no!
Like, it's funny
I've got him up here. No way.
Do you know how he beats Batman?
Go on.
So when Batman's like, he's mine. When they first like meet the gang, and he's easily winning the fight because Captain Fear is a joke. But he slips on some beads on the ground. And that's how they beat him. He slips over, and that's how they get the advantage. And fucking, let me find it.
I found the second Captain Fear.
He's literally about to end Captain Fear. Slips on some beads that look awfully a lot like his mother's pearls, and they all just fucking dogpile Batman. And then he wakes up. And he's on what's those things in the middle of the ocean that just sort of sit there with that light going bong, bong. Yeah, they strapped him to it, and he's trapped there.
Mate, the next underrated Batman villain,
Captain Fear,
getting a drop in from Captain Fear. He looks sick.
Do you think Mr. Fear looked at him and thought, this motherfucker?
He took my identity, my ship.
My gimmick? The next issue's sick, though, because Batman's still trapped, and it looks like it's going to be hopeless. Yeah. Like, even by the time Robin arrives with Captain Fear to go get him. because sharks are around, and somehow he escaped the sharks, and then he goes on board, and he's about to like kill Robin, like give him food for the sharks or something, and he's like, look at him, the grand and glorious Batman, food for the sharks, and then he hears a voice behind him, not a good night for fishing. And then you see Batman like pissed off, drenched, cut and bruised. Nothing was biting, and he fucking whacks the shit out of Captain Fear.
Sick,
it was
dude.
sick. I think it was Graham Nolan pencils as well.
Oh, there's so many cool like one-off forgotten Batman issues.
Oh, you know who wrote this? Chuck Dixon, the man himself.
Mate, big dick himself.
He's probably as good as it gets for the entire Bat. Like, he does all the Bat family so well.
Here's something funny then, mate. So, two of the greatest people to grace Batman stuff. One of them's called Bruce Tim. There you go. Bruce Wayne and Tim Drake. And then you've got Chuck Dixon. Dick, which is short for Richard. Gray's son. Mental, dude. It's like it was in the stars. I feel like if a dude called Ben Parker writ the sickest Spider-Man run ever.
Well, you got. Let me just quickly brainstorm quickly. Okay, who's one of the best Spidey artists? Mark Bagley. Mark Raxton. There we go. It's
the
all
amazing
linked.
Bagman from the bombastic Bagman.
It's all there, mate. It's all bloody linked.
It's like that scene in that shit film Knowing, where he's like got the numbers and he's working out that like the prophecies coming true. Stan and Lee Parkinson, the original human fly.
No fucking way.
It was meant to be.
Oh my God.
Mark Webb made the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Who works with Todd McFarlane?
Jason Todd Red Hood.
Just scrolling through all these names trying to find one that just makes sense.
Dan Slott. Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot. Slot machine. Wait. It's like where you see the number 52 everywhere in DC. The hyper crisis is coming true.
Marv Wolfman. More like fucking shagging your missus. Shagging one girl.
Nice. John Byrne. Superman has heat vision. Oh my God.
Who fucking gambles? Should I think of a gamble? Oh, who was that fucking annoying old guy that died? Nathan Lebensky.
Nathan Lebensky.
Yeah, Nathan Lebensky. What do you use at a casino? Chips. Chip Zdarsky.
Chip.
It's all
Skip. Oh.
There has to be an Eric.
There's gotta be. And that was Scorpion. So, who's next?
Eric Larson. What about Eric Jostin, who is the smuggler?
No way, dude.
The deadly foe. John Romita Sr. and John Romita Jr. What about fucking... Wasn't Smythe one of them?
Smythe. My father. Yeah, mate, John Romita Jr. now is like, my father was a brilliant artist.
There has to be a Bill, right? There has to be a Bill.
Gotta be. Bill Everett.
Bill
Billy Club.
Billy Club. That fiend.
Billy Connors? Billy Connors, mate?
Billy Connors, mate.
Let me Google. Who do we know?
Dennis? Surely there's a Dennis.
The Menace.
Dennis Carradine?
Menace from Spider-Man. Dennis Carradine, mate. Isn't there someone called Ram V who wrote Venom? Or did the art?
Mate, a bit off topic, but did you think Carradine in Spider-Man 1 always looked a bit like Kramer from Seinfeld? Like if he dyed his hair, went a bit crazy.
Oh yeah.
I like how he looks nothing like how in the game. The game looks completely different.
The game gave him raw backstory, mate. The Skull Gang and everything.
Who's Al? So there's an Al person there?
Al Ewing.
Al Milgram? Did Mark Waid write Spidey? Bullshit. I can't remember that.
Might have been like one.
Oh wait.
One off weird side one.
Oh my god, I need to remember the name. What was the fucking name?
So you know when something's good and you say like it's A-list, and then when someone's alright you say it's B-list, and then when something's shit you say it's Z-list or Z-list.
Yeah.
Well, Zeb. You know when like
the barrel here.
A well where you're right at the bottom of the well because it's so shit and it's the bottom of the list. Zeb well.
Oh god, the panel pals, mate, doesn't get much better.
Demetrius.
Wasn't there like a character named Billfinger or some shit?
That was the writer of Batman, wasn't it? Billfinger.
I could have sworn there was a character that had a similar name. Howard Mackey? Well, what about Maddie Franklin? That's fucking shit. Oh, wait, I have one finally.
Go on.
Glenn Greenberg. Well, who's a bit green, you might ask yourself? Perhaps a certain goblin?
Scorpion's in green too. I've typed in Spider-Man writers and it's come up with Andrew Garfield and Christopher Daniel Barnes. Point me to Garfield's run now.
My favourite.
I Googled the other day, like, what was it? I typed in Iron Man villains and it come up with, like, obviously Thanos, and I know he technically appeared in bloody Iron Man, but like your thing the other day, you Googled Doctor Doom, didn't you? And the picture for the Wikipedia was Robert Downey Jr. And in his enemies list, it listed Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, and Captain America.
Yeah, foes.
Didn't even mention Reed Richards.
It says, and this is the order: Spider-Man, Wonder, Surfer, Captain America, Hulk,
Seymour.
You don't even get to read Richards.
Oh yeah. And so like this isn't even just because of the MCU, because Silver Surfer's on there, and he's not even in it yet.
Oh,
this
mate,
is
you know what'd be a
abysmal.
good idea?
These are the people claiming to be fans.
Mate, Fortnite images on there as well.
Yeah, straight away I spotted it. But that's probably the most
Robert Downey
blooming...
Jr.
That's
and
probably
Fortnite.
the most comic accurate Doom we're gonna get for years to come.
You know, it'd be a good idea.
Go
For
ahead.
a Panel Pals special, we look at the Fantastic Four from 1994.
Ooh, what's his name? Tim Singer or something.
Yeah, the
1994.
definitive Fantastic
The
Four
movie. Yeah, the unreleased.
Part muscle, part elastic, part fire, part invisible. Together, it's clobbering time. That's on the fucking poster.
Oh yeah,
it's on YouTube, mate.
Is it?
Yeah, it's for free.
Then, pal. Then absolutely no way they've really doomed documentary. Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, mate. No way.
I've actually seen it. My dad watched it like ages ago. It was an experience and a half.
Have you ever seen Arrested Development?
What's that?
It's a TV show, like a comedy. And at one point, one of the characters tries to make a musical about the Fantastic Four. And they've got a joke in it about the woman who played the Invisible Girl in the Roger Corman Fantastic Four.
What was the joke?
It was like, I'm trying to remember, but he's trying to make a musical on the Fantastic Four, and I think he starts like having an affair with her, and then I think she leaves without warning because she's the Invisible Woman or something. She's just gone.
I always liked in the in the superhero movie as well. Have you remember that one?
Yeah. Yeah, with Dragonfly.
Like that invisible bitch. Mate, it was so cooked when he said that when like it's like I didn't sleep with you. It was like, and then he calls over the door like the dog. It was a puppy. And then he turns to fucking Dragonfly and he's like, still some of the best sex I ever had. I'm like, what the fuck? I should say that in front of your wife and kids. What the
What year was that? Is that movie?
Dragonfly? That would have been post Dragonfly.
Super, because that was Drake Bell who went on to Touch Kids 2008.
Well, he voiced Spider-Man as well. He was
Spider-Man, yeah.
His voice never changes. It's the same fucking voice.
I never watched Drake and Josh.
2008? So no way.
2008. 2008. It's a nearly 20-year-old movie.
The same year fucking Iron Man 1 released. That superhero movie.
1 year after
Which way will it
Spider-Man 3. But didn't The Dark Knight come out in 2008 as well?
Was that 28?
I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What a year.
No. Fucking yeah. This is the order it goes in. You got fucking Iron Man, Dark Knight, Dragonfly.
Mate, you go to the cinema and you're staring at the posters and you're like, what one do I watch?
Yeah. And all the time you pick Dragonfly, you never see the other one. We gotta do one episode on Dragonfly.
Oh, definitely, mate. We'll come up with a Sinister Six for him or some shit.
It's possibly the greatest thing ever. Like, it's so fucking cool. I love even just, when Professor X sends him the message.
Yeah.
And it's like breaking up. It's like 2 girls, 1 cup. It's like, the choice is yours.
Who have we got lined up for next time then? Is it Craven the Hunter?
At least we got some more things to talk about.
We can indeed actually discuss Craven, but at least this episode we didn't get into like who's been sexually abused. That Doc Ock one was rife with accusation.
Well, in the spirit of the Joker too, you can't really help much.
616 Harvey Weinstein. Craven's sick.
Oh mate, it's hard not to.
The cartoon shakes Craven up quite a bit, as we'll get into. Like, this was more or less a real adaptation of the comic with like Scorpion being Matt Gargan, and he's like a down-on-his-luck investigator who suddenly gets granted great power and no responsibility.
He got destroyed.
He got red sweet. There's the amount of insults he got. He literally got insulted more than he got hit.
All he wanted was people to be nice.
Literally, that's all it would have took.
Fucking...
And he would have been fine, mate.
He's like, you embarrassed me. So...
that was it.
You got pissed all over again?
I think Craven's probably one of my top 3 who are like villains anyway, so next one should be pretty good. I mean, they're all pretty good.
Yeah. Well, like we said,
the cartoon, the episodes of the cartoon are all pretty good. The episodes of the Panel Pals, though, mate, are top notch. I genuinely don't think they could be better.
I mean, I think we might be the best. I mean, I might be a little biased, but
no, I'll back you up.
The best, the best YouTube podcast.
I think
there is.
I'd go even further, mate. I think we're probably just the greatest on earth. What competition we got? Fat Man on Batman. Does he still do that?
Who else talks about rape during a Doc Ock episode?
Who goes on? There's a 2-hour episode, and about 20 minutes of it is discussing Armed and Dangerous. And the rest was purely about what comic characters have been sexually assaulted.
You get that nowhere else?
No, mate.
Hell, in our thumbnails, mate, no one's safe. You got fucking Fisk, Prime and Smite.
Oh, he's gonna get him.
He looks so horrified, man.
Even like
your father isn't here to protect you.
The stereo's package is front and center.
Even when we talked about him joking himself.
Did you? Spidey catches him having some private time.
Oh god, mate. And we always just bring up fucking Micah Sin stealing Simon's wife.
And Mike Murdoch come up as well. Organically. I didn't plan that. It just so happened Googling Gene Colan Daredevil comes up with the death of Mike Murdoch.
Did Skip Westcott get mentioned?
A few times, yeah. Of course he did.
Jameson was fucking front and center of the episodes.
He's the villain, if I'm honest. He causes all the problems.
Micah Sin's just too easy.
Yeah, whenever there's someone's wife on screen,
there was one thing we didn't do. We didn't say where we thought Daredevil was in this episode.
Of course. So to finish us off, what was Daredevil up to?
Personally, he's either fighting Purple Man or the Owl.
I think he's on the Owl's weird island.
Yeah, the flying one. Yeah, he's flying around.
Flying blind, but yeah. That's why when Robbie's looking out the window at like all the destroyed buildings and that wasn't Scorpion. That was Matt trying to land his plane.
I can't see.
Are you excited for Craven?
Oh yes, mate. One of the greatest Spidey villains, and yet I still think in some ways he's underrated.
Yeah, they've done kind of all they can. There's still more they could do with him, but he's dead again currently in comics, eh?
It's his son, isn't he? His son's basically just a clone.
Son. Are you excited for the Craven movie?
Oh boy, me.
Yep, no.
I sure can't wait to see the Craven movie with a cross-species rhino.
Oh, yeah. Wanna know why they call me the rhino? Oh. And then we've got...
Yeah, no. I really don't want to know.
We'll probably have another Arkham one up before long.
We're almost done with Arkham?
I know, yeah. I mean, what we're going to do? Well, we've still got to cover Kill the Justice League.
No.
Maybe we'll do like an well-known Batman comic or something. Like we could read Long Halloween or some shit.
I was thinking even maybe on like Shattered Dimensions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We can just do like comic games, I guess.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
If only we could figure out how to play the Daredevil one.
Oh yeah, mate. We could just both watch the same YouTube video on it and then review the video.
I want to experience that shit. Yeah, man. That looks so cool. You see him like fucking ride on the tripwire and shit like that, or like the electrical wires. Yeah. He like skates on it. What a badass!
What
He's so fucking.
Have you've got a Daredevil thing coming up, don't you? Or will it be out by the time this comes out?
Ever so slightly. Probably not considering my work ethic, but right now I think today when recording this I'll upload ASM. Then I got to work on Detective.
I was going to say nice, but now I'm thinking because ASM fucking sucks. Yeah. Maybe not.
After Detective Comics, I have to do probably Ultimate Spider. And then hopefully I can do...
gunpoint, mate.
I have to. Yeah. People think I'm mentally ill if I don't. But then I got to like... Then I can finally move on to Daredevil.
Nice.
I'm dying for it.
I bet you, yeah.
Well, when this comes out, when will this be? Like 3-4 weeks? Or would you be up to?
This one, I think, November 14th. So I can tell you right now what'll be coming out, mate. Around November 14th. Where's my videos list? There it is. Oh, I've already mentioned it, this video, mate. Dr. Octopus Across the Spider-Verse. Which is...
Oh, yes. That's coming out when this one should come out.
When this comes out, yeah. So that should be 3 different versions of Dr. Octopus from different universes and what makes them unique and what makes them similar. They've all got...
Well, I'm very excited to see that one.
Oh, and then last week, Forgotten Spider-Man Villains Volume 3 will have come out, where Dr. Octopus slaps a cheeky kiss on Peter's lips.
Yeah.
And
and you're sending that message. The Joker for hand.
Yeah. Get that mask off.
Oh, God. Well, I think that is it for the episode today of Panel Pals.
Ooh. We are closing the book on this episode of Panel Pals.
Never step on a scorpion, guys. Remember that.
Yeah, if you ever, like... Did you know they can spray their venom as well? Now I'm even more scared. So you, like... There's a scorpion, like, on the street. You're like, oh, I should probably, like, cross the road or something to not walk past it. It doesn't matter. It'll get you anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna like, fuck this guy.
If that scorpion wants you, you're fucked. Take it like a man.
That's what Bruce's dad fucking said. Like a man.
Yeah, you should have stood up to the big man with a gun, 9-year-old Bruce. Like a man.
You pussy.
They should have got Adam West to voice him like in Brave and the Bold.
You're a pussy, son.